it's Chris from LaserLemming.com, and The Last of Us 2 is probably happening. I spoke about this months back. The Last of Us was a hugely successful game on the PlayStation 3, and then it became a hugely successful game on the PlayStation 4 with The Last of Us Remastered. And it's been big. And a lot of people who played The Last of Us, both on the PlayStation 3 and or the PS4, thought that this was a great game that does not need a sequel. And I am often of that opinion that if something is very good, it doesn't necessarily need a sequel, because a sequel often tarnishes it. I usually think this way about films, because films are all about the story. Video games are usually all about the game. And The Last of Us is in its own league because it's a video game that does storytelling very well as well. And this is not the norm. The Last of Us is the exception. Now, it was a huge hit, both critically and commercially. It was a brand new IP, and it sold well. Millions and millions of copies, which is great for a new IP. This is from Naughty Dog, the developers of Uncharted, which is a franchise that's also done very well, starting from the very beginning with the first Uncharted. Now, a lot of people, like I said earlier, believe that The Last of Us should be its own thing, it's a one-off thing, and they should not make any sequels. And this was primarily based on the way the story ended. Personally, I don't see where they're coming from. I don't see what you see in this story and what makes you think that this is the end, that this is all they need to do about this. Like I said, I'm all for not exploiting a story and doing something new and unique. With The Last of Us, I think they hit the nail on the head in a lot of ways. Gameplay-wise, like I explained. Story-wise, like I explained. The pacing was fantastic. It didn't drag on too much, and it just blended the two very well. Now, a lot of people, like I said, I'm saying like I said a lot. I don't know if I've even said that much. But, as I explained, a lot of people believe that the story ended perfectly. And I'm not going to ruin the story for you in case you haven't beaten the game yet or even played the game yet. But the way the story ends is very... I don't even know how to put this without spoiling it, but it's very open-ended in my opinion. Some people believe that it just ends and that's that. There's nothing more that you can say about Joel and Ellie, the characters, the main characters in the game, both of which are playable. However, the way I saw the story is that there can be more to be said. There can be more. There is more to be said. There is more to be said. Now, a lot of people said that if there's The Last of Us 2, that it should star completely new characters. I like this idea. I like this idea. Focusing on new people that have a different story completely going on. And me personally, I'd be interested in seeing somehow these stories intertwine or overlap in a way. Something that connects these two. Because although some people believe that the Joel and Ellie story is finite, over, I think there's more to be explored there. Despite what they showed privately to those Spike people showing Joel and Ellie playing guitar, that this is some footage that they won't even release to the rest of the world. But anyway, let me digress a little bit here. The whole reason for this video is inspired by the fact that there's a LinkedIn profile, currently still up by the way, which blows me away, of a guy who supposedly worked at Naughty Dog, or continues to work at Naughty Dog. He's been a character artist on games like The Last of Us, and most recently Uncharted 4, and bada bing bada boom, he's a head sculptor prototypist for The Last of Us 2. That's on his profile, and a lot of games have been linked or leaked through LinkedIn profiles. So, I think it's a pretty safe bet to say that The Last of Us 2 is in development. And I think it's a pretty safe bet to say that I was right all along about this, because a lot of people just said, you know, why would Naughty Dog ever want to make another Last of Us? I think that their plan, Naughty Dog and Sony, had a plan all along to make The Last of Us into a franchise. They wouldn't invest millions of dollars into a game, especially Sony. They wouldn't invest millions of dollars into a new IP that they didn't think that they could exploit and make more games and iterations of. That's why you're going to see The Last of Us movie coming out. That's why you're going to see The Last of Us 2 coming out. It's going to happen. Now, whether or not you think it should happen, I'd like to know in the comments section below and explain why. You could give spoilers. I didn't, but you can. I've played the game. I've enjoyed it. Just let the people know if you're spoiling the game. Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you think The Last of Us deserves a sequel? Do you think it needs a sequel? Do you want a sequel? Do you want to see more story? Do you want to see it with Joel and Ellie? Or do you want to see it with completely new characters? Do you want to see both combined? Let me know. Comment section below. Thank you very much for watching. Subscribe for more. I'll see you next time.